Hi everyone, I'm Emily from Crochet by Emily. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, thanks for checking back in. Today we're doing a different style video. We're going to talk about 10 things that you can make with your yarn stash to help you de-stash. Some of these you might have heard before and are pretty common, and others are pretty new and exciting and things that I've just thought of. Mostly household things that I've enjoyed making for myself and my family. So here's my 10 list of things that I have either made or would like to try with my scrap yarn. So my first thing that I made using the Red Heart Granny Squares yarn, I was not a huge fan of. It was very frustrating, and I switched hook sizes and just got so frustrated. So I only made enough squares to make a steering wheel cover. If I could make a little modification of it, I probably would go back and add like a string that I would weave through the edges so that I can kind of cinch it up and make it tighter around my steering wheel because it's pretty loose. But otherwise it looks really cool because it's granny squares and it used up just a few of the squares. So number 2 on my list is a pickleball paddle cover, which I used the rest of that skein and didn't pay attention to the squares. I didn't want to do the squares anymore because I just got so frustrated the first time. So I just did a paddle cover, just doing a double crochet, and I did it in the round. Let me go grab that and I'll show you really quick. So I made this for my husband. So as you can see, I did not make squares. I just used the skein as is and just did a double crochet, like I said, in the round. So this was my bottom, and I just kept going around and around. And then here, up here, I added, just weave through some string so that you can cinch it up and tie it. So this is my husband's. And I also made one in a different set of yarn for my mother-in-law. This was a great project. My next thing that I have on my list is a pillow. You can make, same kind of thing. Just make a couple panels in, different colors of yarn. You could try tapestry crochet, which is something that I started doing, and I'm in the middle of working on another one right now. If you watched my last video, I showed you my goose pillow that I've made. I'll try to pop a picture up here to show you. I'm making another goose pillow with a little bit of a different twist. I'll show you guys coming up in the next podcast episode when it's all finished. It's a great way to try tapestry crochet because you can make it into a pillow. My next item on my list is a bandana. So this yarn, this yarn I use, this is Premier Momenti, and this is all I have left. This yarn I used to make this sweater. I finished it. It's super cozy and fun. Anyway, so I had like half a ball of yarn left, so I made a bandana. And then with the rest of that yarn, I made seatbelt covers. So I was able to make 2 seatbelt covers, and I used this Velcro so that I could Velcro it together onto the seatbelt. And this Velcro is no sew. It's just a stick-on, which I didn't even realize that they made. Here it says no sew. I thought all Velcro you would have to sew on, but this is just super sticky, and it's worked great. So I definitely recommend this if you're looking to do any sort of project that you think would need Velcro. This stuck really well to my yarn whenever I put it on the little cover. And the cover, I just did like a long panel, and then I folded it so that the Velcro would overlap. The seatbelt measured, I think it was 2, maybe 2.5 inches. So I think my panel I measured to be 5 inches so that it would overlap. My next item on my list I have is a tote bag. Again, a lot of these are just things you can make with panels. There's tons of tote bag patterns out there. This is something that I've done in the past. I've tried to sell them at crafting markets and they haven't done super well, but they're super cute and you can make them small, you can make them large, you can make market bags. This is more, I wouldn't say this is a scrap yarn. This is more of just if you have yarn that you're trying to de-stash in your stash, this is one of those projects I think that works really well to use up at least one skein of yarn, depending on how large you want your tote bag to be. I'll try to include the links to the patterns for the ones that I made in the past. A couple of smaller projects you could do for more scrap yarn would be a keychain. I just made a whole bunch of butterfly keychains. If you watch my first podcast episode, you can see that. I made some butterfly keychains for a church event, and they went super well. All the girls that I made them for just absolutely loved them, loved the variations and colors. That was a fantastic scrap yarn buster. Another one that I do with, so I'm not a big fan, this is Premier Parfait Chunky. I am not a fan of Parfait Chunky. I tried this for amigurumi and I cannot stand how much it sheds. So with the little bit that I have left, I've been using this to make scrunchies and they actually turn out super soft and I don't even really have to deal with the shedding of the yarn then. So I have 5 balls of yarn left and I plan to just use them to make scrunchies, and then I can give them away to friends, nieces. You know, I could try to sell them at markets. They're super quick to make up. I use the Passionate Kelsey pattern. I will link her in the description so you can check her channel out. She has a ton of tutorials. It's just a great resource. Okay, 2 more things. I have used up a lot of yarn making baby blankets. If you're comfortable making baby blankets, you can do it in as simple as a double crochet, single crochet. One channel I also recommend is Creative Grandma. She has a lot of tutorials on how to do different stitches that work really well for baby blankets. So my most recent baby blanket, I used a lot of my leftover yarn from other projects, acrylic yarn, and I used, she calls it the moss stitch. There's a couple different moss stitches. I will link the pattern that I used for this moss stitch, but it turned out really well. I used a lot of yarn that I had left over. Just, you can do all kinds of different color combinations, and it's just an awesome way to use up your leftover yarn. My last item that I have is making baby doll clothes. I have not done this, but I've always wanted to try. I've got some little ones that enjoy playing with baby dolls, and I think they would just love if I made their little baby dolls some clothes, and they can dress and undress them. I can use scrap yarn, I can use a whole skein of yarn, and there's all sorts of possibilities with that. So I think that would just be a really fun project to try. Thank you for joining me today. That was my list of 10 things that you can crochet to destash your yarn or to use up some scrap yarn. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please like and comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.